Hey, what's going on, guys? Chris Rock certainly didn't expect that on stage from Will Smith. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course. The daily series here on Football Therapy where I reflect on the news, what's being said about Chelsea Football Club, giving you my opinion on it. But of course, more importantly, asking for yours, friend. Your opinion is more important than mine because you are the fans, the viewers, the people who interact, the subscribers, the people who guide the content. That is you, friends. Please do consider subscribing because at the time at Chelsea, there's loads of breaking news all the time because there's a takeover going on, and I'm always hoping to be the first to reflect on it as a content creator, and you can be the first to watch and interact with me by making sure the bell's turned on when you subscribe. And thank you for all your interactions, like your likes and comments, because it does mean a lot to me, so thank you. Today we are discussing attackers, wingers, Captain America, Christian Pulisic, or the LeBron James of soccer, if you know that meme. Here, scoring a hat-trick with a beautiful third goal to complete his hat-trick. We're going to talk about him, talk about Timo Werner. Of course, we spoke about Werner yesterday and his comments. And a bit of Ousmane Dembele as well, because prior to this takeover, Chelsea were, and many articles were stating this and published this, and we reflected accordingly here on the channel, that they want to rebuild the Chelsea attack. Things are changing though. Lots to get into. Take a second and let me tell you about SPITCH, because SPITCH sponsoring my video today. I absolutely love it. It's a wicked fantasy football. It's better than probably fantasy football you already play, because this one uses OptaStats, so you can use the intelligent man football brain that you have, I'm sure, to actually generate points from your good decisions. OptaStats are great. You don't have to commit to the whole season. You can just play every weekend, refresh. If you miss it, a week doesn't matter. You can play for free, but it is 18 plus because you can actually earn money from it and do some, put wages down and stuff like that. There's also a prize league going on at the moment where you have the opportunity to win stuff for free, like Apple Watches, football jerseys. Why wouldn't you want to check it out? It's a wicked platform. I love it. And you can achieve this fun by simply clicking the link down in the description. Check out SPITCH now. Click it. Go on. Click. Right. So, where are we at? Where should we start? Let's start off with Christian Pulisic scoring a hat-trick in Florida against Panama in World Cup qualifiers. Scored 3 goals, 2 pens. I think he's pretty good at penalties, Pulisic, isn't he? But the third goal to complete his hat-trick, a bit of a Zidane turn, touch and tuck. Oh, lovely. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, go watch the highlights. Excuse me. Really good performance from him. He loves playing for his team. His international team, the US men's national team, and why not? More power to him. He really is, acting good as a leader there. Chelsea have a lot of players like that want to be like the leader, that want to be the clutch player, and maybe that's why they fail that's unfair, because different players have different levels, or struggle at times because they can't be this alpha. You got Pulisic, who thrives being Captain America. You've got Ziyech, who thrives being the main man at Ajax, which we've spoken about before. Lukaku, kind of like, the god tier at Inter, and even Belgium, Belgium's all-time top goal scorer, etc. And then they all join Chelsea, this systemic team where they have to play in a certain way in a very hard league in the Premier League, and perhaps they can't, hustle like they'd want to. But, it's still time for all that to be fixed. Anyway, Pulisic, really, really good performance. Interesting, isn't it, after yesterday's video where we reflected on Timo Werner's comments about playing better in Germany rather than Chelsea. We can read between the lines of that if we want to. You can make your own decisions. In fact, go back and watch that video if you're yet to see it, yesterday's upload, because, you'll get my full opinion on what he said and how I feel about it. And then you can read the comments about what people are saying and interact with each other. So that's great. I did do that poll a while ago where I said if there's one winger that needs to go. I did 4 on Twitter because you're capped to 4 things, 5 on the YouTube community, and I put Hudon-Odoi in there. And over 50%, I think an average of 55% said Pulisic's the one to go. And now, if I did that again, this just shows you the ever-changing landscape. You can imagine it will be 55% on Timo Werner. I know a lot of people still love Timo Werner, and why not? He's a really hard-working, great guy as well. And people just want it to work out for him, and I kind of totally get that. But when Pulisic's playing like this, I think he's got 3 goals in 6 games for Chelsea, or maybe 7 now after maybe playing once more. But a really good return for a winger, and he just looks effective again. And I wanted to shout out Pulisic because he was in bad form. And yes, because he was playing at wing-back, both wing-back, and he played at false 9, and it's not his fault. I called for him to be played at false 9 because I thought he did those late Frank Lampard runs of just finishing chances. I thought it could work for him. It did not work, boys and girls. Spoiler, ladies and gentlemen, it did not work, the false 9 experiment. And that's fine. You find out, you try it, okay, it doesn't work, we move on. But, and then he was moved to his preferred left wing, and he still had a few bad games, and I was like, oh, he's in a stint of bad form now. But then he played himself out of it, and he's been playing well for a little while now, and he deserves the credit, man. And hopefully he can keep that going, and it's changed the landscape of who's preferred and who's not. I sort of don't count Mason Mount in the wide forwards, because often he actually gets pushed into the midfield in a 3-5-2, and he is a number 8, Mason Mount, isn't he? But because he does high turnovers, and they sort of play him in the front 3, England and Chelsea, and saying that, I think he's still top for goals and assists or goal involvements for Chelsea under Tuchel. So despite being that sort of more midfielder style, he does produce numbers. So you think of all the other guys, like, right, well, is Timo Werner top of the list now to be the one to go? Hudon-Odoi, he was so good, Hudon-Odoi, throughout the academy, and I saw him in that Europa League season. I watched his first goal and assist at Stamford Bridge. I remember just watching that thinking, this guy is going to be absolutely incredible, and he just hasn't been able to cook lately, so that's disappointing. I do think Mount's safe. Easily Kai Havertz is safe. I feel like the 2 people that are safe are Kai Havertz and Mason Mount for different reasons. Kai Havertz is probably the most naturally gifted, yet effective in terms of he's silky, glides around, he's 2-footed, but he's 6'2" and he can win headers in the box. Fine, done, mate. You can work in the Prem, no worries. Mason Mount kind of speaks for himself. Not as perhaps as naturally silky, but in terms of like being really effective in terms of pressures, turnovers, defensive work, goals and assists, he's like, hard-working midfielder slightly up the pitch. So those 2 are safe. Who's not safe? Lukaku's not safe, but there's loads of problems with that. What are the new owners going to say with Romelu Lukaku? Are they going to be like, okay, right, what do we do with this big £100 million problem? Timo Werner, we've discussed. Go watch yesterday's video. Yesterday's video. So it's Timo Werner, Romelu Lukaku. You'd have to say, well, is Pulisic's stint of recent form, does that make him completely safe now? Or does this change again in like two weeks' time? Do you know what I mean? Like that quickly. Hudon-Odoi. Hudon-Odoi wanted to go to Dortmund before the season started on loan. Thomas Tuchel publicly explained how he's blocked the move. Hudon-Odoi came up to him and said, look, can I go to Dortmund on a season loan? I've agreed terms. Probably would have been, I understand why Tuchel didn't want to, because he's like, no, I can play you either side of the front 3 and probably either side of wing back. I need you this season. Even if he's not like, you're a Galactico and you're my best player. He's like, I'm a coach, you're a resource, I don't want you to go. I totally get that. But at the same time, I understand from Hudon-Odoi's perspective, Jadon Sancho's just gone to Man United. I can replace him and be the guy feeding, Erling Haaland all season and get myself like 15 league assists to him. Yes, please. And get myself back into the senior England squad. Yes, please. That's what he might have been thinking. Hudon-Odoi. So I mean, this is all speculation from me, of course, but I understand from his perspective, and I understand from Tuchel's perspective why those things. And although he's shown that he can cook, it's just been too absent. And I kind of have a bit of sympathy with him, as I have a bit of sympathy with all Chelsea's attackers, for the same reason of they're just trying to fit into a sort of, not dysfunctional system, because I think, Tuchel's a world-class coach, a dysfunctional attack that hasn't been culminated appropriately in the right way together. So I do have a little bit of sympathy for all of them, but not that much sympathy. So what happens next? Well, 1 or 2 go. That's what the reports are suggesting. And if we are to believe or assume the new owners will continue the plan of 1 or 2 out, especially to try and shave down that massive wage bill. 1 or 2 out and then 1 in. Of course, the big player that's been linked is Ousmane Dembele of Barcelona, who his contract negotiations with Barcelona broke down. His contract runs out in the summer. I think he wanted more money and probably wasn't happy with the situation at Barca. Of course, Xavi's come in, they've played really well, and he's brought Ousmane back into the side, and has publicly stated he's an important player for us. Behind the scenes, he's apparently spoke to Laporta and said, play him. He's really talented. We're trying to win at the moment. I don't care if he's going. I want to play him. Because usually when a player's going, they're like, right, we'll build with someone else. And show other players that you can't run your contract down, because then you don't play and your value goes down and you can't, get in the shop window for your next club. That's usually how things work. And I wondered if there was a touch of that with Andreas Christensen at Chelsea, like mysteriously always unavailable. Again, I'm speculating. But Xavi's brought Ousmane back into the side, and there's been recent quotes, you can go and read them, of Laporta saying, look man, he'll have an opportunity. His contract offer has expired. He can have another opportunity to talk salaries, but he needs to accept the current financial restrictions that we're in. And you're probably saying, look, Jan, we keep hearing about these financial restrictions from Barcelona, but they're signing Ferran Torres, they're signing Aubameyang, they're signing Adama Traore, they're signing loads of people, actually. Where's all this money coming from? Loans, I think. But I think they do need to. There is like a salary cap in La Liga. That's why they couldn't re-sign Messi. Even if he halved his wages, apparently they wouldn't be able to have done it. That's why he went to PSG. I think he wanted to stay at Barca. So he'll have to sign a really reduced salary. I mean, how much more would Chelsea pay him than Barca? The thing is, he had been injured forever. He's not been injured lately. He's been playing really well lately. It's not like he's 32 and if his knee goes once more, he's done, mate. He's like 24. He's really, really talented. He's got 2 amazing feet. Thomas Tuchel adores him. And if a new owner is going to come in and go, right, what's the first thing on the agenda? Keep Thomas Tuchel and keep him happy. That might be the opportunity to say, right, you love Ousmane Dembele. What if we give you Ousmane Dembele? Opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Comment down below. I think I'm probably backing it. I know a lot of people, he could end up coming to Chelsea and being injured, and there's all the memes and jokes about him and Pulisic laying on the, medical room tables together and never being able to play. Like, we both played for Dortmund. We'll have to see what happens. I'm keen on getting your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on all the forwards. Maybe tell me who you think you'd keep and who you think will end up going. And what will become of us, ladies and gentlemen. Do check out SPITCH by clicking the link in the description. And I'll see you very soon. Like I said before, if any news breaks about the takeover, I will of course react, hopefully first, and you have the opportunity to watching it here. So when you sub, make sure the bell's turned on. Alright friends, thank you for joining me. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.